If you please rise and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance after me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, again, welcome to the first meeting of 2026. Lauren, you want to take roll call?
Councilmember Wiley.
Present.
Councilmember Tradewell.
Here.
Mayor Rolfe.
Here.
Councilmember West.
Present remotely.
Councilmember Bray Johnson, I believe will be here, but will be late tonight.
Okay. Does anybody have any announcements?
Are you able to hear me, Lauren?
What was
Are
that?
you able to hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay.
Maybe we'll start with you, John. You got any announcements?
No.
Mike? No. Paul?
No.
The only thing I have is, well, I think everybody in here already knows this, but the black book in the back is our agenda and everything that we have before us. And you can also see the same information online. I do think this might be a shorter meeting, maybe. There's a lot on the agenda, but a lot of it's going to go rather quickly. I would look for a motion to set the regular agenda.
Any changes, Lauren?
I have no changes. Nope.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Tradewell, second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor? Actually, hang on one second. Before I vote on this, Lauren, I think maybe just since Councilmember Bray Johnson is running late, maybe we could change the order. Do you want me to note that now or just approve the agenda?
I think approving the agenda is fine, and then we can change the order. Yeah.
All right. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
He said aye.
They said aye. All right. 4-0. Public forum. Is there anyone here to address us regarding an item that is not on the agenda? Ron? No? All right. We did have one other gentleman, but he must have stepped out. So, all right, we'll move past that. Approval of council minutes dated December 8th, 2025. Look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Wiley, second by Councilmember Tradewell. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Is that an aye, John? Or are you looking for opposed?
Oh, I approve.
All right. Motion passes 4-0.
I think, not to interrupt,
Yeah.
but last time our guy was here, he said when someone's remote, you should do individual.
Right. So I'm going to get to that on the other ones.
Oh, okay. All right.
The ones that,
Sorry.
there's a little more meaning to them, I guess you could say.
Heard.
But thank you. Acknowledge receipt of Economic Development Authority, EDA, December 8th, 2025. You used to have that one acknowledged, Lauren, but you have the minutes down in...
Yeah, so typically the advisory commission minutes, you just acknowledge those that you received them.
I just didn't know if it was EDA, since we were on that, or...
It is for the EDA minutes, because if you remember, the EDA did meet before the December 8th meeting for like 2 minutes to adopt the 2026 final levy.
Okay. All right, so we should vote on that, or...
You should vote. Well, no, you don't need to vote on that.
Okay.
Just acknowledge
All right,
receipt.
So we acknowledge that.
Yeah. Same as when you do parks minutes and planning commission minutes.
And sir, you had stepped out. We passed by the public forum. Was there anything that you wanted to talk to us about that wasn't on the agenda? No?
No,
Okay.
Andy won't be here.
At all?
No,
Oh,
she got vehicle issues.
okay. I was going to try to skip around a little bit for her, but, well, let's go, we'll just keep going here then. Lieutenant, we're up to you.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Staff, residents of Oak Grove, I'm here to present the Sheriff's Office stats for the month of December. For the month of December, we had 236 calls for service, and that breaks down into some of the categories as follows here. we had 3 assaults, 21 property damage accidents, 30 medicals, 25 animal complaints, 10 alarms, 1 felony arrest, 3 gross misdemeanor arrests, 2 misdemeanor arrests, 1 DUI arrest, 2 domestic assault arrests, 1 warrant arrest, 81 traffic stops, and 6 traffic arrests. For year-to-date totals, kind of recapping the year here, we had 3,162 calls for service in comparison of last year's was 3,124, so very, very similar numbers. The traffic stops for the month of December did go down slightly, but if you'll notice, they're roughly about the same when you average them out for the entire year period of time. And I'll highlight some of the calls for service, some of the activity that the deputies handled for the month of December here as well. On December 4th, this was at Rum River and 204th Lane. This was a warrant arrest situation where a deputy had stopped a vehicle for an equipment violation. The driver was found to have a warrant and was subsequently arrested without incident. On December 8th, in the 198 Hunter Block of Orchard Street, this was a terroristic threat situation where an adult male at this location was reported to be making threats to a public official. The individual was arrested without incident and transported to jail. On December 12th, also in the 198 Hunter Block of Rum River Boulevard, this was another warrant arrest situation where a deputy went to the location looking for an adult female with a warrant. She was located and taken into custody without incident. On December 12th, in the 100 Block of 221st Avenue, this was a medical situation. Sheriff's Office, Oak Grove Fire, and Alina EMS responded to a male at the location having a medical emergency. CPR was performed and the victim was transported to the hospital. Although I don't know the prognosis of the victim in this case, our emergency responders certainly provided critical care in an incident like that. On December 13th, in the 20000 Hunter Block of Walden Boulevard, this is a third-degree DWI arrest where a deputy was responding to a call of a male who was intoxicated and threatening suicide. Before the deputy arrived, the male had left in a vehicle. That deputy had located the vehicle on their way to the call, stopped the driver, noticed they had exhibited signs of impairment. Field sobriety tests were attempted, and this driver was arrested and charged with third-degree DWI as a result of a .23 BAC test. On December 21st, this was at Viking and Flamingo Street, deputies recovered a stolen vehicle out of the city of St. Paul that was just basically left abandoned on the roadway at that location. On December 23rd, in the 1000 Block of Sims Road, deputies responded to an unknown trouble call. The complainant made allegations of theft and assault. Once the deputies arrived, they were not substantiated, and rather this caller was found to be the aggressor in this situation, and that individual was trespassed from the residence for a year. On December 30th, in the 204 Hunter Block of Lake George Boulevard, this was another medical event where deputies responded to a call of a male who had collapsed and was not breathing. Upon arrival, deputies determined the victim did not have a pulse, and CPR was started in conjunction with the AED. Deputies were assisted by Oak Grove Fire and Alina EMS. The victim did regain a pulse, began breathing on their own, and was able to be transported to the hospital for further care. So again, we are grateful for our responders in the community for assisting in situations like that. I did want to point out, we talk about a number of scams. We put this stuff out in our Friday updates throughout the office. They can get emailed out to individuals. But this particular scam, people are getting a little bit smarter, wiser to doctor up some forms to make things look official. Basically, what we're seeing is fraudsters are creating an official-looking document. It might have state logos, county logos, court file numbers, judges' signatures, things of that, information claiming to be of legitimate information. Basically saying that you might have a warrant for your arrest, you might have to pay a fine, you might have to do, whatever X, Y, and Z. And it's all to elicit, some financial exploitation of the victims that might actually respond to this. The documents that we've seen so far list FDIC-approved payment methods such as, the Apple Pay, Walmart Pay, Zelle, gift cards, things of that nature, just to be mindful to the public that, government agencies do not take payment. We do not collect fines under those payment methods. If there's ever anybody in doubt, call us, call the court system. We'll let you know if things are legitimate. But it's also things that we want to be aware of if things are coming to you in the mail. If they're making phone calls, please call us and let us know so we can stay appraised of what's going on and also get this information out to others so that they don't become victims as well. So that's all I have for the council this evening. Is there anything that I might be able to answer for you guys tonight?
John, anything?
Oh, not at this time. Thank you, Lieutenant.
You have anything?
Nothing for me.
I just wanted to mention, I know at our last meeting, there was some talk about supporting the sheriff's office and so on and so forth, and I don't really know where that was going or not, but I think I can probably speak for everyone, but I'll just speak for myself here at the moment. I think you guys do a great job. I don't have any complaints. I like to see the traffic numbers continue to increase because I know people aren't getting any better at driving. I don't think I would ever go back down to 20 hours of coverage, but it would be nice just to be able to have that conversation versus it just no, or explain why a little bit more. But that's not you. You're just a messenger. My only real thing with the contract is I just have a problem with this whole mileage and buying the vehicle, and that does not mean by no means that I don't support the office. So I just wanted that just for you to hear that. I think you probably already knew that, but I just wanted you to know that. So
Yeah, I don't take any of those comments, and they're always good questions, and we should be asking questions about the contract. So I'm happy to answer anything. We can also take things offline, go into more detail, things like that.
I just think it's we're representing over 9,000 people, and I think it's fair to at least ask the questions and see what the best thing is we can do. It doesn't mean we're against you. So
Absolutely.
just wanted to share that. But thank you.
All right, and then next month we'll have Meet the Deputy night, so we'll bring in the crew and.
That's the 9th, was it?
Yeah, the first meeting in February 9th.
So for those at home, if you want to meet the deputies or those that are here, come on the 9th. It's always a good time. So tell the sheriff he's welcome to come.
He is invited. I sent him and the chief a message to remind him.
Perfect. All right. Well, hopefully we'll see him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, Lauren, before we get on with the organizational matters, there were some things that I just wanted to kind of throw out there as the council as a whole. Are you able to verify whether Councilmember Bray Johnson is coming or not? I know this gentleman said she's not, but I'd hate to just start diving through this stuff and then maybe...
Well, why don't we just skip it, and if she gets here, she gets
That's
here.
what I was going to say. If not, I was thinking maybe we just do that last.
Yeah, she did just send me a text. I'm not going to make it there.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Doesn't sound like she's going to make it now.
Okay. I don't know if she wanted to try to remote in or not, or... No, okay.
Just dealing
Well,
with an issue.
This is my thought here. We have a lot of different positions. Some of these we know we're just going to pass them all. I don't think we're going to look for a new city attorney tonight and so on and so forth. But I'm just bringing it up that some of these positions, the liaison positions, I don't know if we want to consider making some adjustments, and I want to explain why. It's not that I'm out for anyone and that I think we should be changing things, but a lot of us have been in these same positions for a few years now, and as I looked at the calendar over the weekend, I realized that, not saying this is going to happen, but, it'll be up to the voters. I may not be up here next year. Councilmember Bray Johnson may not be up here next year. Councilmember John West may not be up here next year. And I just don't know if it's time to move some liaison positions around a little bit just for experience purposes. I'm fine keeping it all the same too. But I just thought before we keep doing the same thing we've always been doing, is it worth a discussion? I know for myself, we've already voted on the JLEC, and was asked by the sheriff, so I can't really even give that to somebody else. So it's just open for discussion. I'm not saying we need to or not, but again, it's an election year. A lot of things could change. Maybe it's worth getting people some different experience, or maybe it's just leave things as is and just move on. So with that, we could just start going down it, and then I guess we can get to some of the discussion at that point if we want to or not. That's why I was kind of hoping everybody was here, because I just wanted everybody's opinion, but I realize things happen sometimes, and there's nothing we can do about it. So it happens to the best of us. So all right. So with that, I don't think we're going to change anything with resolution. Are you able to put these up, Lawrence?
Oh, yeah, I can throw them up.
So everybody can see what we're actually talking about.
Yep.
I'm going to try to do better explaining some of these things. I went to a different meeting last week, and I was lost in what they were even talking about. So nothing was on the board. We had no idea what they were talking about. So I'm going to try to do a little better. So these, some of you have been around a while, some of you haven't. I'm talking about those watching at home or in attendance. These are all the things that we appoint somebody to each year. Generally, it goes pretty quick, but that's what we're going to be talking about here. So the first one, Resolution 2026-001, is adopting the 2026 regular council meeting schedule. I don't know if anybody has any concerns with that or wants to look at different dates, or if there should be meetings added or deleted. I know we can always cancel or add a meeting if need be. We have done that. I guess I'm fine with just keeping it the same second Monday and last Monday of the month for now, unless somebody else wanted to talk about that.
I'd like to see it stay the same.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm fine with the nights. I did bring up something to Lauren, though, on November 30th about canceling that meeting. It's right after Thanksgiving. Nobody's going to be here to do our packets and stuff, so it seems like that meeting seems kind of, I don't know, like there ain't going to be anything on it, because they're going to be off Thursday and Friday beforehand, and I know in the past we've canceled some of those, and then some when we make, it just depends on how much time they had for the
It
packets.
depends on his
So I recommend that.
Thanksgiving or after. But
Yeah, I just recommended that we cancel that one because that's on the Monday right after Thanksgiving, and there won't be anybody here working on packets.
And we're closed Thursday and Friday. Right?
Yeah, yep.
And I would say if something important came up, we could just have a special meeting before
always call a
Thanksgiving or
special
something,
meeting.
right?
We can do a special meeting anytime we want.
Yep, so
We've
I
done
would,
that.
I'd be for not having that
We
meeting.
talked about this for a few years, and then Thanksgiving stopped falling right before this meeting, and
Right.
here it is. Now it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
falling
now we're
right
back to that schedule on the calendar again.
All right.
I would agree with Mike.
Okay. So you want to make that motion, Mike?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the schedule, except for November 30th, and making that one of the.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Wiley, second by Councilmember West. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. So you want to remove that November 30th, Lauren?
Yep.
Acting mayor, this is where some of the things, I'm fine keeping everything the same, but maybe these are areas we want to start looking at changing. But I guess I would look as, the acting mayor is in my absence. If I'm not here, they run the meeting. Councilmember Tradewell's done it the last
2 years.
3 years, something
3
like
years?
that.
Yeah.
3 years,
Oh, yeah, it's 3.
right.
Oh,
I'm gonna make a motion to switch that position to John West, just because I know John West has been interested in that position in the past, and I know that Paul has been interested in other things and stuff. And I mentioned to Paul that I might make that motion, and he was okay with it. That's the only reason, just because John was interested. John hasn't done it, and he might want to step up and do it.
Are you okay with that, John?
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so, Council, any further discussion?
Nope.
All right.
You want a
so-
second?
Yeah, so Councilmember Wiley made the motion, and then you wanted a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Tradewell, to make Councilmember John West the acting mayor. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I
Motion passes 4-0. Resolution 2026-003, designated city depositories. I look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Councilmember Tradewell, second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor?
I would, with that, we'd want to change that from me to John West to be a signer.
I think that's
a
further
good
down
point.
though.
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay. I thought
This is just the actual institution, so the Village Bank is our primary deposit, and then 4M is the investment.
Okay, I was just reading, it says depository and authorized signers, so sorry.
Yep, so 006 covers the signers, and we can talk about that in a minute.
Okay, so sorry.
This is just for the two financial institutions the city uses.
So all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Designating the, well, I should put 20, or resolution 2026-004, designating the official newspaper. That was,
The recommendation here is the same as it's been the last couple years, is that we publish most of our legal notices in the Star Tribune just because of the flexibility in publishing 7 days a week. But for those more expensive budget summaries and financial things, we publish in the Anoka Union Herald because it is cheaper.
I'll make a motion to keep it the same.
motion by Councilmember West, second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Get an aye out of that?
I did.
No, I'm talking.
It's an aye for me.
Yeah, you say aye, John?
Yeah.
All right. Motion.
Better make a motion.
Right, still gotta say aye. It would be weird though if you voted against it. But, yeah. All right. Resolution 2026-005, designate the official posting locations. And Lauren, if you just note those for the record.
Yep, so the official posting location now is just City Hall, but of course with that, everything gets posted on the city's website, which is where most people access that information now.
And I'm assuming when City Hall's done, it will still be City Hall.
Yeah, well, we might have to change the address to update the new address. We can deal with that when we move into the new city.
All right, I look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Tradewell.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Resolution 2026-006, designating the city's authorized signatures. This is what you were talking about, Paul.
Yep.
So this would make John would be added and you'd remove from last year's.
Correct. And
Yep, so typically whoever's appointing acting mayor has typically been added as an authorized signer on the accounts as well as a backup.
so I so moved. So make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember
Second.
Tradewell, second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Resolution 2026-007, setting the 2026 Gopher.
I'll make a
Gopher
motion to
Mountain.
approve before you have a chance to.
I'll
argue
second.
against it.
Motion by Councilmember Wiley, second by Councilmember Tradewell. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Aye. 3-1.
Thanks, John.
Someday.
Yeah.
All right. Resolution 2026-008, appointing the city attorney. I meant to ask the lieutenant before he left if there was any concerns. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not the prosecutor, this is Joe.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to keep it the same.
All right. Motion by Councilmember West.
Second.
There's second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. We will be keeping our civil attorney. All right, the next one here is our prosecuting attorney. Resolution 2026-009. We had any concerns from the sheriff's office that you're been made aware of?
Nope. Since you ask that question every year now, I did anticipate it, and I did reach out to Lieutenant Knotts earlier today. He said there are no reported concerns from ACSO regarding Scott Baumgartner, and that was according to Commander Brent Erickson of the Patrol Division.
Okay.
I'm going to make the motion to approve, and also state I know everybody in that firm from when I worked at the sheriff's office, and I think they're all good attorneys, and I think they've done us right. And they're easy to talk to.
I'll second the motion.
So motion by Councilmember Wiley, second by Councilmember West. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. This is the tough one now.
I was just gonna
Resolution
say.
2026-10, appointing the city engineer. I'm guessing we don't have any concerns since he's here with us.
No concerns.
Other than his bills are getting kind of steep, and maybe he can cut back on them next year.
I agree. All right, I look for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Councilmember Trayvell.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. All right, now we are to the commissioner assignments. Those of you may not know where we're at. This is where we're talking about Planning Commission, Park Commission, and all the commissions that we are all a liaison of something. Let me get to that. So the only thing I had noticed, and maybe I should have mentioned this sooner, Lauren, is when I talked about 2025, I was on the JLEC board on 2025, but it appeared that I wasn't the way that it was noted, but it's
Oh,
fine.
in my RCA?
I think where was that again? I don't think it's a big deal. It didn't
Oh,
say
yeah,
that
yeah,
it
I see what you're saying.
wasn't.
Yep, yep. Nope, you definitely were on it on 2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this one here, so the JLEC, for those of you here, that's the Joint Law Enforcement Council, that I attend those meetings. And then every council member gets a position or two to be a liaison to. So,
Lester, how many meetings are there of the JLEC each year, approximately?
4.
4 a year?
Yeah. I don't know if they've ever well, there's 4, but then I'm technically on the committee for emergency communications, and that I believe is 4, but those are more optional meetings. So 4 to 8, I guess you could say.
And just so people know too, that's been a recent deal that you've been assigned
Year
to.
2.
And the sheriff appoints that position, so it's not like me or Paul or somebody else could easily just put our name in and do it. But also, you know a lot more about that system than we do, and that's why we've all been right behind you saying, yeah, if you can do that, because there's a lot of knowledge you need to have to work that and stuff, so. And
Yeah, I'd say the city of Oak Road is blessed to have Weston and his knowledge be part of that. So I
Right.
certainly want to see that continue.
I think if any one of us, other ones, the rest of us did it, we wouldn't know nothing about that program. And, you know, I don't know if you want to expand more on it, but a lot of cities don't get to vote on things that are there and stuff, and Weston knows how that whole system works. And
Yeah, you know, it's fair to share. So every city in the county has some type of law enforcement. Some may contract the sheriff's office, or some may have their own agency. So what the situation basically is, where I kind of got a little excited about this and wanting to be a part of this, is that every city has like their chief of police and an elected official. If you don't have a police department, then the sheriff is technically the representative. Well, he contracts with 8 cities, but he can only have 2 liaisons. So what that really means is there's 6 cities, unfortunately, in this county that have no representation on this board. Like the fire one has one too, which you'll hear us talk about here in a couple minutes, that John has done for a while now. That's the fire chief, an elected official. Well, again, they actually vote on budgets, and there's nothing against the chiefs that vote on these. I know a lot of them, I highly respect a lot of them, but they're not elected officials. But yet they're voting on things that cost us all money. And I'm not even saying what they're voting on is wrong. I'm just saying that I think cities should have that. So that's why I was glad that the sheriff asked me to do it, because so at least then we can say that our city is one that has some representation. Whether you agree with me or not, at least we have some representations. But that's something, again, the sheriff basically selects. But I chose last year, when he selected me, to have it approved by the council as a whole because of the budgetary purposes. So that's kind of a long story that could have probably been a lot shorter.
But and the main thing is you have the knowledge where the rest of us don't have the knowledge on how that whole system works, and I think that's like John said, that's a huge thing for our city to,
Right.
at least if anybody ever has a question about it, they can come and talk to you and you know what you're talking about, you know?
And I had 25 years in the business, so I got a pretty good idea of what
Right.
they're talking about. So, and it's actually a really good group. I work in a different county, and I wish ours had the same. So, but all right. So with that here, I want to make sure I'm not getting lost where I'm at. Did we have? I don't want to make sure we don't miss any, Lauren. But are they not noted in here this time?
They're here.
Well, they're in the RCA listed. So the main advisory commissions are the Parks Commission, the Planning Commission, the Upper Rum River Water Management Organization, the we started last year because of the building project. We had the Building Design Committee, the Anoka County Fire Protection Council, and then the school district liaison for both districts 15 and 11.
Right. So, the last few years, Councilmember Bray Johnson is planning, Councilmember Wiley has done parks, Councilmember West has done the fire protection we talked about, and the building design, which a lot of work behind that. And then Councilmember Tradewell has done the same Upper Rum River, or no, John also did Upper Rum River, you did Upper Rum River, the building design, the school. So I just feel like there's a lot of moving parts here.
The building
fire-
design will go away. That's only a 2-year thing. That
Right.
was
But it's
never
gonna
there
be
before.
all of this year.
Oh, yeah.
All of 2026,
Yep.
and that's a lot of extra time that you guys, I mean, you signed up for, but you didn't exactly sign up for it. But
Yeah, though some of those are only like 2 meetings a year and stuff like that, because some of them are on Monday nights, like when we have our meetings, like the school.
oh
thing,
yeah,
and
School.
I just mean the
Things
building
that,
one. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, the building one, there's going to be a lot going on.
The building one's gonna be
Right.
a busy one this year.
So my thought is, and I guess we can see what if there's any appetite, or we just keep everything the same, and I'm fine with that too. But just to try to change things up and get some different experience, I don't think there's nothing we can do about mine. I think the building thing that you and John are working on, I think the last thing we should do is throw 2 new council members into that when you guys have been working on it now for the last year. The fire protection that John's been doing, he's been doing it for a while, but that one again, like the law enforcement one, unless you have some experience in it, you're gonna show up to these meetings and probably just vote to approve stuff that you have no idea what you're talking about. So I feel like that's one that, you know, it could change, but I think that John's doing a nice job, and that one again is a budget that if somebody gets into that and they're not 100% sure what they're talking about, that could cost all of us money as they're trying to kind of learn through the process. So if you kind of put that together, really what we're still talking about is parks, planning, and the Upper Rum River. My thought would be is Paul hasn't served on on Planning Commission for a while. Maybe you're not even interested in it, but maybe that's something you could look at. And this is where I kind of wish Councilmember Bray Johnson was here, but I thought Upper Rum River might be a good opportunity for her to try something different that honestly, I don't always, not 100% on myself. So,
They do a lot. I didn't know what they did until I got on it, so.
right. You know, or parks or something. I know, Mike, you have some conflict with Thursdays with
Right, 'cause Lake
with
George Conservation
so
Club
I
is-
don't want you to have an issue with either one of those. So
Right.
that's
You know,
my
If I may, Mayor?
Hmm?
If I may,
Yep, go ahead.
I think fire might be an opportunity for Bray Johnson. With some insight from myself and the chief. When I first started on that, I was lost. But I've learned a lot about not just fire, but government and how it works through that. And it might be a good opportunity for her to learn a little bit more and expand. I'd be willing to give that up because I have a few other things going on here with the city. And I think with Chief being with her and then getting some insight from me, I think it might be an opportunity for her to grow a little bit more. But I'll leave that open to discussion if you guys want.
Right. No, that would be good too. I know that one has less meetings, but we also have which isn't a required one, but the school one that I think Councilmember Bray Johnson would do a great job. The meetings that she.
Yeah, you can
would
only
get
go to about 4 of those a year,
Right.
so
But I think,
it'd be a nice balance.
I feel
And
like
it-
that'd be kind of right up her alley
Yeah.
of, getting involved with the schools and the school board and.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that too.
The thing you gotta remember too is not all of these were liaison positions. These were slowly, this one came up, kind of like somebody said, well, I'll go to the school things, usually because somebody was interested in doing that and stuff. And, I mean, we could have 1,000 liaisons up here. Hey, let's have one to the kids that are doing the stuff with the fire chief, or let's do this.
We just have a hard time
I
getting
mean,
people to do
yeah,
them.
so a lot of them, I think we should concentrate on our main ones that we basically have to cover before we start worrying about the little ones like the schools, because those you can just say, well, does somebody want to cover that? Who can cover that? I mean, if they want to go up there.
I had just thought the school, because I think, knowing her, I think she'd enjoy that.
yeah.
And if the fire council's only is that 4 meetings, John, a year?
Yeah. It's about 4 meetings a
Four,
year,
and that
yeah.
kinda- you know what I mean? Then
Yeah,
that
it'd be
takes
8.
that from you, so you're doing planning and you're doing,
Upper Rum River, or
Yeah, and it's hard for Paul to move off Upper Rum. I mean, we could do it, but he is the treasurer. So, it's an important position. I like Paul there, being the chair, and just being a little selfish. But he does a good job. He knows numbers. It'd be hard to take him off of there.
is that too much, Paul, to do those two, or?
no.
See, I thought about, maybe going to the Upper Rum River, and then I called Paul and asked him how much was involved, mainly with the tech stuff, because everybody knows, hey, I've got paper here, you guys all have the computers out, So, and Paul said, Mike, you'd never be able to handle it. And I said, that was my fear.
I didn't say it exactly
Basically,
that way.
not exactly that way, but no, it wasn't offensive or anything. It was just because he knows my tech skills and level and stuff. And, so that I'm just shocked actually that they don't have somebody else professionally doing that stuff for them. I mean, to have people come out from the city or from the private residences and expect them to have that kind of knowledge is kind of, I mean, we're lucky with Paul, he has that down, but not a lot
And we
of
only
people are
have-
doing that.
How many meetings a year we have? 4?
5.
Is it next year that we get busy with the comp plan update?
That's correct.
Not 2026, 2027.
So the question about Angie going to that is does Angie have the abilities to do that type of
Or we could ask her.
accounting and stuff? Well, we could if she was here. I mean, so I don't know that you want to necessarily assign that to her without her saying, yeah, I can handle that, because I don't know what she has for experience.
And I don't
I know
mind.
if you told me that, hey, Mike, you weren't here and we assigned you that, I'd be like, are you out of your heads? I mean,
And the planning commission, I was just trying to be nice when I gave it up. I liked it too,
Well, I
but I
like
think
it,
it's the right
yeah.
thing. I think you push it, let people have an opportunity to do this
Well,
stuff.
you
so.
said for years that if you were ever done here, you'd like to go back.
I'd like to
that.
go back to there.
And
Yep.
honestly, I don't know if the mayor's ever done the planning commission, but when I was a part of that, or the times I've filled it, I've really enjoyed that. So,
Yeah.
so I guess my thought is, and you have a good point, Mike. I think Angie's pretty smart and she could figure that out, but that's probably not fair just to throw that on her if she
because it is a
hasn't-
big thing. It's not just a.
hasn't been able to put her 2 cents in.
So maybe we can do the other ones and leave that open, and we can just address that on the next meeting. Get all the main, get it pretty much done on the main ones we have to cover, and then just,
Figure out the upper. Was there a meeting before the next meeting for Upper Rum River?
There's one
Yes.
coming up on the end of the month, Thursday.
Maybe it's after. You guys have a special meeting coming up.
Yeah. It'll be after our next meeting, though.
It is. Then I think it's the 29th.
29th. Yep.
Yeah, 29th.
Well, I guess this is my thought, and I guess maybe we'll see if there's any appetite here. Mike is the only guy I talked to about this, so I know that he's really enjoys the parks, and I know you guys got a lot of things coming up with trying to design and do things here with the new city halls. So I guess my thought would be Mike would just stay on that. Paul would go to planning. You'll still, even though it's not a true liaison position, help with the building design and that. John, you'll do Upper Rum River, the design stuff that you're continuing to do. Councilmember Bray Johnson will do the Anoka County Fire Protection, which I hate to speak for her, but honestly, I think she'd enjoy that. And the school district liaison. If she's totally against the school thing, we can, like you said, we don't even have to have that
We
one.
don't have to have that.
But
They like seeing us up there, though.
yeah, I think she'd like that. And then I will obviously do the JLEC, which we don't have to vote on now. Am I missing anything, Lauren?
We got building, planning. Did you say Mike Parks? Stay on Parks.
I think that sort of levels things out a little bit more too, because I was doing, three different things, and other people were doing one. So it's nice to sort of balance it too a little bit.
Right.
That's because John always raises his hands whenever something comes up, and it's like, pick me, pick me.
Well, I'm going to miss 10 meetings this year, so I'll have to do this too, right?
Well, if we're way out of scope here or anything, it isn't like we can't discuss this
Right.
again, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you can swap these.
Mike John takes initiative, that's what that is.
exactly. Okay.
So I guess that would be, since I rambled all that off, that would be my motion. I guess we'll
Well-
see.
I'm okay with doing parks.
Are you okay with all that, or do you want it, Lauren, voted on separately, each one of those?
You can do one motion if everybody is okay with how it was presented.
So
I'll second the motion.
I'm going to
If you
make
want me
a
to,
motion.
if you want me to repeat it, or do you want to repeat it? I can.
Yeah, maybe you repeat it to make sure you got it written down correctly.
You don't have to vote on this one because it's already there, but Weston was voted to be on the Joint Law Enforcement Council back in November. For Councilmember Tradewell for 2026, then he would remain on the Building Committee, he would go to the Planning Commission, and he would continue to serve on the Upper Rum River Water Management Organization, which he's currently the treasurer. Councilmember West would stay on the Upper Rum River Water Management Organization, which he's currently the chair. He would also stay on the Building Committee. Councilmember Wiley would stay on the Parks Commission, and then Councilmember Bray Johnson would move to the Anoka County Fire Protection Council, and then the school districts 15 and 11.
Right?
I think that's the way you said it.
And then I would say if Councilmember Ray Johnson, when she comes back, if she's like, oh, I'd like to do that Upper Rum River, then we could talk about that. Because now I feel like you're kind of getting heavy here too, so.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
at
yeah,
least
but-
she can have some input on that
Yep.
then, so. All right,
Absolutely.
so I made a motion. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Second.
I seconded it.
Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Comes late.
You should tell people why
If you
he's always
want
behind us.
to, Lauren, connect with Councilmember Ray Johnson, there's actually, if she can't do it, I'm fine filling in, because I already said I would for John, but there's actually a meeting Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So, I could go with her too, or I've never been to one, so I don't know if there's like, I'm gonna be able to train her doing anything, but, if she wants to go, if she's not available, I already told John I would do it, so I can do it.
Okay, yep, I can certainly connect with her.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah, just let me know then.
okay, will do.
All right, so now we're at Resolution 2026-12 Park Commission appointments. And we have let's see where I can find that again.
Two people's terms were, two commissioners were up for their terms. Commissioner West, Annette West, who is actually the current chair, and then one of the newer commissioners that was appointed, Jim Breitbach. He was fulfill the remainder of a term which expired at the end of the year.
Okay. Mike, any concerns with either of these as you're the liaison?
No, I'll recommend appoint both of them again. Annette hasn't been in charge yet long enough to see how she does, so got to give her at least a year.
No, and I'm happy Annette is willing to do it again. She's the one
Yeah,
who
she'll do good.
pretty much initiated the whole tree lighting event from the beginning. She's done a lot of good work here, so.
Yeah, she has.
All right, do you want to make that motion then, Mike?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve. I don't have the paperwork, so I don't have their names of the resolution. Trying to find it in there. So I'll make a motion to approve both of those for the parks.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Yeah, he was,
Second by Councilmember
Just try
Tradewell.
to give him a second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0.
Yeah, I
All
forgot
right,
about that.
and then Planning Commission, we have two there. I think one, let's see, one was new, no, not new.
Yep, so Alan Hall is the commissioner whose term was expired. He's looking to be reappointed. And then James Clark is the new recommendation. So the Councilmember Bray Johnson, Councilmember Tradewell, and myself did conduct interviews in mid-December. We had 2 applicants, and the recommendation was for James Clark to be appointed to the Planning Commission to a 3-year term. Mr. Clark is here tonight, too. He's the one in the audience.
Oh, well, hello. Want to come up and say anything to us, or?
Nope.
No speeches ready?
And they were both great candidates.
Yeah,
So-
good candidates.
All right.
Do we want these done
I was just gonna
separately?
say, I
or-
don't know who James is, but.
He's
nice
right
to
there.
meet you. Nice to meet you. All right. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Councilmember Tradewell, second by Councilmember Wiley. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Welcome.
The only guy that's here is the new guy.
Ron's here too.
And the Planning Commission meets on Thursday, so James will get right to work on Thursday.
Oh, welcome. All right. All right. We are now to the consent agenda. You want to throw that up? It looks like you have it there. We're going to vote on all of these in one motion, unless somebody from the audience, staff, or a council member wants to pull one for further discussion. And there's quite a few of them here.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time we had this many.
Are you able to move it up a little more, Lauren, so we can see the ones below it too?
Oh, yeah.
It's like we go all the way to. Yeah, there we are. So again, is there anyone who wants to poll any of those items?
I don't want to pull, but I just have a question for Lauren. Lauren, any of these IUPs been issues with the city or complaints or anything that we should talk about, or?
No.
Sorry.
And the reason you're seeing so many of them now is since I got here, we've kind of bunched the renewals up twice a year. So now they get a January 31st or a July 31st, just so it's easier to manage. Otherwise, you had IUPs
Sure.
expiring all the time. A few of those got lost in the cracks over the years. So you'll now see groups of them at the first meeting or second meeting in January and the first meeting or second meeting in July to renew those.
Okay.
The fire department does go out and do a fire inspection as well as inspect for the conditions when their renewals come up. So all these were inspected prior to tonight.
Okay. That's all I had.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, if nobody else wants to talk about anything, I'll make a motion to approve A through L.
I'll second you.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Wiley, second by Councilmember Tradewell. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. He's muted.
Is that an aye, John?
Sorry. That was an aye.
All right,
Forgot I was muted.
all right, motion passes 4-0. So if you're here for one of those items, they've all been approved. Consulting engineer updates.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Thank you for your appointment earlier this evening. Don't have a lot for you. I did meet with the Anoka County late last week. They are looking at beginning the design this spring on a roundabout at 181st and Lake George Boulevard.
No way.
Yes.
Oh,
And so their intent is to design it in 2026 and build it in 2028. They are pursuing federal funding, but with or without it, I think they're going to proceed with that, with the design for sure, and then proceed with the project. It's kind of been programmed in. That is that 181st there is it's a border, road borders. And Andover as well as Oak Grove. And for budgeting purposes, they said city should plan on $250,000, split more or less equally between the city of Oak Grove and the city of Andover, and that would be state aid funds that you would use.
What percentage of the project is that? Altogether between the two cities?
It's roughly like 10%. What you're doing is you split the cost between the sidewalks and the lighting, and then I believe the trails as well. And they won't include trails around the roundabout unless it's kind of advantageous for the funding to get trails around there, because you get extra points for pedestrian accommodations. So what I had indicated, and if I misspoke, let me know and I'll clarify, but I told them that if it's not a requirement of the funding, that you weren't interested in maintaining a trail around that cul-de-sac.
Well, if we're gonna go that route, we'd have to talk about where that would extend to, like if you're gonna run that up 9 or something like that to Lake George or something like that.
I think that's was their thing, is they just literally would be in the roundabout
Going in circle.
Except in circles.
Right, right.
And they'll put some of the, the depressions in the concrete, so if and when you ever did, they could be added relatively easily. The other thing
Chuck,
we'll need to.
sorry to interrupt, Chuck. The match amount you said was how much?
They said plan on budgeting approximately $125,000.
What did we pay for the roundabout on 7th?
It was 100-something.
Yeah, it was something similar, as I
90%
recall.
funded by the grant, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, that's right. You did get 90% funding for that project. If you were to get federal funding, then that number would come down.
When will we know if we get federal funding?
The application's in. I don't have a hard date for that yet.
Okay, so there's an opportunity for that price to go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No. Please do. The other thing that we'll have to work out is Andover has Connexus do all of their design and install of their lighting, and then build the cities. And if we wanted to do it the other way, where you have the contractor build it and then you kind of own it. So it either can happen one way. We can have Connexus do it, press the easy button, and then then they can charge it back, or you'd be looking at the city of Oak Grove owning the system, and then basically invoicing Andover share to them.
I don't think we want to get into that mess.
Their preference is just to have Connexus do it and go that route.
I mean, we're just going to pay Connexus, and then we'd have to bill out, anyway. So it's just have them do it and be done.
Yeah. Just once you get into billing and
Yeah.
issues that come up down the
Yeah.
road, it's kind of like with St. Francis and the ponds. It's
Yep.
like we do billing, we do this, and it's like,
Right. I think Chuck has just kind of given us some of the information, because I had asked that the more time they can give us on these projects, so we can work on budgeting for them, and so on and so forth. So I don't think they have all the details figured out.
Well, and I thought when he went with the high number, and he says, well, if we get federal funding, they're going to do it with or without. Well, they don't want to come in again where they said, oh, we thought we were going to get federal funding, it was going to be $60,000, and now we're going to charge you $125,000. So
Yeah, they want
to start at the high number and then hopefully work down.
to. Yep, exactly. So there'll be more information to come as we proceed here, and
That is awesome.
yeah.
I'm just surprised that one's getting done and not the ones on 22 and Flamingo and
It's like
Nightingale.
well, let me know if I'm answering this incorrectly, Chuck, but it's more those we went for safety, and this one we're going more for because everybody's sick and tired of sitting at the stop sign.
Matt and I went through there, I think about 2:30 today, and the cars queued up on the Andover side heading north. I was really surprised at middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, but it's not like that all the time. I mean, I live on Round Lake Boulevard. That's my way in every day, and I don't see that problem.
Oh, I've come out and it's been back
I
up
would
to
just say
SRO
pull the stop.
going
well,
south.
yeah, occasionally, but very
Yeah.
very seldom. I could see more pulling out the stop signs and just, hey, you guys on the side road.
I brought
guess
that
what?
up, and they weren't.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
I think he said that.
And it's
He
like,
tried.
it's like, but you're talking about spending $1 million plus, just put a roundabout in. And it's like, I don't know. I drive it every day, a couple times a day, and it seems like I just think the other ones would be more important to have.
Well,
But they're just different projects for
22.
them.
Yeah.
It's, if we say, we don't want it, well, they're not gonna give the money back to the residents, they're just gonna go put another one in Ham Lake or something, which we all pay for.
Well, if they're gonna do it anyway, we don't even have to pay.
Well, I think it's a lot better than Hanson and 181st, because that to me made no sense at all.
I think that was just
Right.
we'll see if we can get it kind of a thing, is I think. we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and I should add too that, so that would be constructed in, their plan is 2028. In 2029, they'd be looking at 221st and 9. You know, so I'll be sitting here next year, hopefully, God willing, and telling you that, you know, they're going to be starting the process of designing 221st. You know, in 2027 for a 2029 construction.
That's a lot worse than I thought up there. I mean, I've been through there a couple times, and I just go up. We used to go up to the barber up there, and there's people going there everywhere, and yeah, it's not a good intersection. The 221st. I was questioning it before, but I don't question it so much anymore. There's a lot of traffic up there by you.
I still question it.
No, okay.
I'm still on Chuck. He's sitting here next year, like hoping he's going to talk about that, or hoping he's going to be sitting here.
He's hoping to be retired. That's the hope side.
All right. Anything else, Chuck?
No, just next meeting, we'll have those, present the road improvement plans to you for 2026 streets.
Right.
Could have done it today, but there's no need to push it, and you had a full agenda, so.
All right. Well, thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.
Unless, John, did you have anything for Chuck?
No, thanks, Chuck.
No, have a good night.
I was gonna stick around a little bit.
All right. Code enforcement updates. I don't know if anybody had any questions. I had one, Lauren. We can talk later about it, but trying to get an update on the Cedar Drive. Looks like it went to the city attorney, but I've had some people kind of question where they're at with that, so maybe
Yeah.
we can look into that. I know it went to the city attorney, and I know when it goes to the city attorney, things take a while, but
It does slow it down, but I can share that they are requesting an additional inspection from Rum River before they continue with the abatement process. So we want to make one more attempt to to request permission from the property owner to inspect the property. So they will be doing that, I believe, this week. And then we'll move forward with the abatement process.
I know that seems to be one of the more popular ones in the city right now, and it has been for a while, so. Besides that, I don't have any questions or comments about it. Does anybody else? About the code enforcement report?
I have a couple things I just want to note. There have been some administrative citations issued now. I think it has been effective in getting certain individuals to contact Rum River and to work with the city to try to gain compliance. There's a couple that still aren't responsive. We can discuss this more at the next meeting when we get into the fee schedule again. But we should probably set a maximum administrative fine before we certify to the county property taxes.
Right.
Because these do accumulate quickly if they do not respond. You know, some of these are up to $100 a day. And, you know, imagine what that looks like after a month or 2 months if you're not responding to those or correcting them. So, you know, we don't want to get people that, you know, the goal is compliance. So to you know, deal with some of that, we probably want to set a max amount. Maybe it's a couple thousand, maybe it's 3,000, and then after that, they get certified to the property taxes. We start a different process.
Right. Oh, different process, not like a different year, just a different.
No, and I mean, there's different ways you can, you know, mitigate that or deal with it. You know, stay at a year or something like that if they do bring it into compliance. But I just think it'd be wise to pick a maximum amount of those, and then they can get certified to the taxes.
No, I would agree. I mean, at the end of the day, we want compliance. But on the same hand, some of these concerned residents, which I feel for, I'm sure they feel like nothing's ever happening. So,
Right.
I will say some of those that nothing seemed to happen for a long time, there's stuff starting to happen on some of these. So I think it is effective.
you know,
just takes a while.
Well, and at the same time, as we send Rum River out there, we're getting billed every time they have to make a trip. I certainly want to get it alleviated from the taxpayers, and it only goes on to the people that are ignoring us and not doing their stuff. Why should everybody else pay?
I agree.
So, I mean, it's pretty easy to get in touch with the city when they send you a notice and stuff, and if you just won't follow through,
You know,
they start to lose the feel for you, you know?
So we're starting to hear from people we haven't heard from in a long time, which is good.
yeah.
Good.
That's all I had under that one, unless you have any additional questions.
No. You guys?
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing from me.
Sorry, John, what?
Nothing from him.
I said nothing from me.
Updates.
A couple items I did include, there is a warming house agreement in there from St. Francis Youth Hockey Association. This is actually an agreement that we drafted last year towards the end of the season, where the coaches from St. Francis Youth Hockey Association wanted to hold some additional outdoor practices. And in exchange for doing that, they would open up the warming house while they were here doing that. So what this does is it does get us, I think, 4 nights during the week where the warming house would be open while they're practicing, as well as the public could use it as well.
Is that gonna be every week, or is that gonna be on a regular basis? Or?
It will be on a regular basis, yep. So last year we did it late in the season, and then the weather just changed, so it never actually worked out, because as soon as you approved it, I think we got like 50-degree weather the next week, and then the ice was gone, and it never happened. But, you know, we've got some ice still, and there's still a little bit of winter left, so we probably get it implemented this year. We've changed the signage to basically just say, no warming house attendant on duty, kind of, you know, skate at your own risk. We put some picnic tables or benches out so people can, you know, at least put their skates on while they're outside. Obviously, if there's an emergency, call 911. Nobody's on attendant. So then if a parent is dropping their kids off thinking someone's there, at least there's a sign that says there isn't. So this does get us, the warming house, open a little bit more than it would be otherwise.
But only when they're practicing, right?
Yep. So last year, their plan was to like have all these practices on one night, but our public works director did talk to them and say, you know, you should spread those out. So I think now it'll be 4 nights a week, I think is what they're up to. It'll be a different team each night. So you will get the warming house open more than you would have last year under this agreement.
Okay, so they don't have a problem with their people coming up there and just everybody else being able to use the warming house at the same time?
No, I mean, that's basically how this agreement worked. The old agreement worked too, right? You know, they were always, they had other people skating there while they were having.
Yeah, but they had a lot more hours that they were
A
covering.
lot more, yes.
That when anybody could go up there and stuff. And since they're not doing that, I just want to find out whether we're just doing this and opening it for their people, basically.
No, I think it's both. I think it does allow them to use the rink, but it also gets the public
Okay.
access to the warming
So
house.
the public should know then
It
that
doesn't
it's
give.
open at them time periods, and they are allowed to use it, and they can't show up there and then have the hockey people saying, "Oh no, this is for us in our practice right now."
It's not for exclusive use.
Okay. That's what I want to make sure that it's not just for that. Okay.
Now, we've done this before, right? I mean, or something very similar.
Well, we tried to do it last year, but maybe they got one practice in. I don't know. It just seemed as soon as it got
Well,
approved.
wasn't it a few years back, they were unlocking it when they were there and allowed people to use it?
Yeah, they had always done that up until 2 years ago. Yeah, they had regular hours, even outside of their practices, for 10, 15 years.
So we had an agreement with them because they were going to mandate other hours because they had to do volunteer work. And that was the initial agreement when we first put the thing in, that they were going to handle it. They were going to have it open not just when they were practicing, but other time periods too, because they needed to do the volunteer work. And so now it's changing from that.
Yeah, the issue is for them is that they now have all this volunteer time they have to do over at the skating rink in East Bethel. They have a lot of indoor ice time, and they have to do concession stands and other things. So that's where that organization is spending most of their volunteer time now.
And I guess to be half fair, their city administrator in East Bethel, a year or two back, reached out to me and asked if we wanted to invest in more or less redoing their ice arena. And I
Yeah.
said, no thanks.
Everybody wants us to pay.
So, I mean, nothing against hockey, but it's,
Yeah.
the ice arenas are not cheap. But I read through this whole contract, and I mean, it talks about insurance and work comp and all kinds of things.
Yeah, they give us all that, and those coaches background checks to be coaches.
That's okay.
Yep.
So,
So we will present that to them. It sounds like they're interested in doing it again this year.
Are you looking for us to vote on this or not?
I don't think so. I just wanted to make you aware of it. You did approve it last year and just, we weren't able to execute it.
All right.
I did want to update you on one other thing quickly to the animal control switched over on the first of the year to companion animal care and control. The sheriff's office had a lot of questions on that. It is a full-service animal contract. We did switch to that, but they asked if we were authorizing all animals, and I just hadn't talked to you about that, so I put the brakes on. I said I'm only authorizing dogs right now. I just wanted to have that conversation with the council to see if you have strong feelings about limiting the animals that they will come out to respond to or not. I don't think there will be a lot of issues with other animals. Fortunately for us, we have a lot less animal control issues than a lot of our neighboring cities, but the potential does exist for other calls. You know, cats was one that I wanted to talk to you about if you wanted them to come out and get cats or not.
If the cat doesn't have a
Lauren, have we had an issue with other animals in the past?
Not that I know of, no. No.
Okay.
Cat
And she
doesn't
did
use
mention, like, you know, we do get an occasional, like, livestock, a horse or a cow. They're not going to take those in. So it wouldn't really apply to that, but, you know, I don't know what other kind of pets people have. Other
Goats.
things could have, yeah.
We had that bull running around a year or so
Yeah.
ago. Remember we had the bull running all over this town?
They're probably not going to take those types of animals in. I think they could, but they probably won't. They would. One of their methods is they have a Facebook page where they just would, like, you know, put it out there to try to find the owner as quickly as possible. They're not transporting large animals out of the city.
I just know by statute we have to do the dogs, but if you start getting into cats and all that, unless that cat has a collar or a chip, nobody's ever going to pick it up, and we're going to spend a lot of money on that.
So as of now, I've just authorized dogs.
I think it's the right thing to do.
Also,
I'd agree with that.
Just let me know. But I wanted you to know that that's all we're doing right now. Okay. 2050 comprehensive plan. As you know, every 10 years, the city is mandated by the state, the Metropolitan Council, to prepare its comprehensive plan as part of the Met Council's regional development plan for the entire Twin Cities, 7-county Twin Cities metro area. So we do have a proposal from MSA Professional Services to assist the city in, drafting that comprehensive plan. They did the last comprehensive plan for the city as well. There's a lot of public engagement in it, and then writing the plan itself, and then there's, a lot of process, getting it to the Met Council, getting it approved. So I think a lot of it would occur this year, and it would go into 2027. I think ultimately it's due by the end of 2028. I think 28 is when it's ultimately due to the Met Council, the final version of it. It's still is not clear to me how much grant funding we are eligible for, but last fall, the Met Council did indicate that they were still working on their grant program for this round of comprehensive planning, but we are a community that would be eligible for grant funding. Not all communities are, but we are. We were the last one 10 years ago as well. So it's just a proposal I wanted to get in front of you. You don't need formal action on it tonight. You can bring it back to the next meeting. The Planning Commission is going to look at this on Thursday at their meeting too. But those of you that have been through it, just remember it's a lot of extra meetings throughout the year. There's a lot of open houses, getting the public in to weigh in on what's important to them for the next 10 years in the city's long-term development plan.
Busy year.
Busy year, yes. Yep.
And there's few new sections, and then I think there's some opportunity too for the Planning Commission and the council to, maybe look for some more commercial land and things like that along the way. And there's some client resilience stuff that's going to be incorporated into this as well. And I guess I would just encourage you to get the plan started and finished earlier rather than later. Just as good ideas roll into the Met Council. I think it's smart to do it sooner rather than wait till the very end and then get all this input from these other cities and they said, oh, that would be a great thing for Oak Grove to do as well.
Right.
Something like that.
I talked to Chair Johnson of the Planning Commission, and he's eager to get moving as quickly as we can on this.
Yeah, he's anxious to get going, and I think he would prefer to complete it this year if we can. So we can look at that.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to get the bulk of it done this year, if not the whole thing. So.
I'm sure we all have some ideas, so.
Yep. And with that, I'll send out some dates to the council, but Met Council Commissioner Diego Morales wants to come out and talk to the council, and maybe that's a joint council planning commission meeting we have here, maybe in the first quarter of this year. The system statements were released in October. We were kind of targeting after that was done. Thankfully, the system statements, pretty good for the city this time around. At least they acknowledge the same land use designation for the city. If you remember 10 years ago, those that were here, they had the carve out in the southeast corner, but now the whole city is the same designation, so that's good. They're still basically respecting that law change from 2017 that the city got approved.
So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think just explain what the Met Council does, and see if the council or commission has any questions.
You know that. We don't like what they do.
I've talked to him a few times now, met with him a couple of times, and I'm not here to support the Met Council. I want to make that very clear, but he's probably the best we're going to get. And I met a handful of them, and I think he is at least willing to listen to what we're thinking. He's kind of local, which helps too a little bit. But,
Yeah, we've had more communication with this commissioner than any in the past since I've been here, and he does have he does sit on the land use committee for the Met Council too, which is an important committee within the Met Council. So I think it's worth having him come out.
Right. Again,
Absolutely.
doesn't mean I support everything.
Yeah, right,
we're doing,
exactly.
But I do think we may get a little further having a relationship with him than just blowing him off. But that's what the experience I've had with meeting with him a couple of times. So
So
I think it would be good to have the whole plan.
we're going to talk to the planning commission on Thursday too, and we'll get some dates at work for everyone. The only other thing is the city does have their YouTube channel up now. We are not live streaming on it, but we will upload the videos after the meeting like we do with Granicus. So we'll start uploading those to YouTube, starting with this meeting.
What's our name?
I will send it out again. I think it's just OG Oak Grove MN, I think. It's very intuitive. There's no videos currently on there. With that, whether we do it tonight or have a conversation later, but we should look at our retention schedule. The city's adopted the general records retention schedule, and on that, the retention for meeting videos is 3 months after the minutes have been approved. So that's something we should look at if we completely go to YouTube here this year or later this year.
Oh, I appreciate it, Lauren. It's good to see that on there, and it sounds like it didn't really cost us anything extra, right?
No, we're already, at least for now, we're already having to download that video from Granicus to send it to the people taking the minutes. So it's just uploading it to one more site. So it's minimal time involved in that.
I think it's good. We've been talking about that for a little while, so good to get that done.
Yep. Those are the only items that I had for you guys tonight for updates.
All right, mayor council requests and updates. I know we have goals on there, but maybe we'll end with that. Does anybody have any requests or updates that they want to share? Either of you? No?
Well, I guess my request, you want to talk about goals for this year or not?
Yeah, I just thought we'd get these little things out of the way, and then we'll just finish it with the
Okay.
goals.
Well, I got a few things for Lauren. I got questions. I don't know if you want to do it now or you're going to go to mayor council afterwards or where.
I figured we'd just do
Kinda.
those now, so go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Lake George Old Public Access, is it done yet? Do they got the stuff marked off?
It is not done yet. I think Mad Ad Utility Locate's done before a snowfall, but it'll get done.
I would
next
hope
week.
because I talked to you and him back in, it was like July. And he told me he was gonna call him. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to call him. He said he was gonna call him that day and stuff. But I just want to get it done because we paid for a survey over there, and if we don't mark it off, it's being encroached on, and we should get it marked off and say, hey, this is our property and stuff.
Yep, it will get done in the spring.
And the other thing with that is I want to talk a little bit about what are we expecting now for the winter? And I mean, remember when we had them design it so they could get snowmobiles through there in the winter, but then we had that one time when Angie, and I just read that on Facebook, I don't know what happened, but one of the neighbors over there was complaining they couldn't get down there, and they said she took care of it. I don't know if that meant she opened the gate or got it opened, or what is our expectations on what we're doing over there? I mean, because we should all know what we're doing over there.
Well, it's a good question. What are we doing? I guess I'm not 100% sure myself.
Yeah,
I thought we had them close the gate
in the summertime,
and we had them open up that area so snowmobiles could go through.
in the wintertime.
In the wintertime, because that was a snowmobile trail section that the snow goers use and stuff.
That's my understanding.
That's what I understand. But then I hear that some other people want, and I don't know what they wanted to get down there, but I mean, we should have what we're going to do. Either we're going to open it all the way up in the wintertime, or we're going to just say, no, this is for snowmobiles, and we should be sticking with that. And I don't know why Angie's doing this on a weekend if that's what happened. People shouldn't be contacting council members and then us contacting city staff to come out on a Saturday and do things like that. So,
Yeah, so what the city's been doing is they've been closing it in the summer and opening it in the wintertime. And Councilmember Bray Johnson did reach out to me to ask if it was going to get opened. And I did reply to her that, yes, we would open it for the winter, but we had not done so yet. And no one went out on the weekend to do it. The Public Works Director, was aware of it, but it was pretty early in the winter season, and there was not enough ice to be out there to be safe, so he had not opened it yet.
well, and that's the other thing too. If we go opening that gate and stuff, people are going to assume that means the ice is safe. And we got that berm down there from the natural kicking up of the sand and all that. And I know at one time Parks was talking a little bit about, and we talked a little bit about making that a natural type of area down there. I guess this spring we can talk about it more as we're going into parks, and what are we going to do with that and get a solution here. If it turns out we want to open it up all winter long, okay, that's fine. But let's figure it out so we know what we're all on board and we know what we're doing.
Yeah, I think if the city wants to have a policy on that, we can look at that. You guys can discuss it and vote on it. We'll do whatever the council wants to do with that.
Well, it might be nice to have a date range then too, if we're going to open it, and then with that we could post it, and we could also say enter at your own risk. By being open doesn't by any means mean the ice is safe for you. So something, whatever we need to do to be.
But then if they're going to put the
Legit.
natural vegetation down there and have
Well, then we don't want people driving over it.
right
No.
chewing it all up over it.
And that's the part that kind of got paused because the city was looking at making that a park.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done because it's technically a roadway. So we have to work through some issues with it being a road before we can convert it to a park.
Yeah, I think no matter what, we should just tear that old that asphalt out of there. It's just deteriorating, falling apart, and that should probably just go anyway. And
Yeah, when we know there are borders, then clear it out and put something in to define the border, and
I
nothing
still
expensive,
those,
but
what are they, 6x6s or whatever? That's at the sledding hill. You know what I mean? Just
Yep.
it kind of you don't have to have the ropes and all
No.
that, but you got a good understanding of whose property is whose because
Right.
they may be coming onto city property, but I think we're also trying to prevent people from going onto their property too.
right,
So it's
right.
both.
It works both ways. Yeah, especially since it's the neighbors that were complaining in the first place that got us even looking at this.
yeah, the posts that you're talking, they do that when you go down to Florida and you're staying at all these VRBOs and you want to walk out to the beach. It's
If we
lined.
decide that we want the snowmobiles, then maybe you just make it just wide enough so snowmobiles just know they can get through. And
Well, and that's what the opening was that they welded in there. It was supposed to be wide enough for snowmobiles to go
To
through.
go through,
I think the neighbors wanted something else to go through. I don't know. I haven't talked to them.
maybe a side by side.
I was out of town.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe that's what they wanted, but hey,
To get out there with the
maybe you got to go down
side-by-side.
the road and you got to go through the parkway. I mean, it's I don't know, but we maybe when John and Angie are here, we should discuss this and what are we going to do and stuff. So
Perfect
we
idea.
have a plan.
The snowmobilers definitely use it, but I think some people like to use it to haul their ice house out onto the lake.
And they want to be able to take their truck or pull with their whatever or UTV to pull it out. Yeah.
So I think that's probably that. I don't know what the request was to Angie, but it probably was that.
Yeah, Well, unfortunately, Angie's not here tonight, but hopefully we'll all be at the next meeting. We can.
But I can, I don't know, it probably won't be the next meeting, but I will bring something back to the council to look at and consider and discuss of what our actual options are there with the property.
Okay.
The bullards and that, you guys have already authorized that. That will get done. That'll probably not get done till spring, but that will
Right,
get done.
right.
Yep.
But might as well start talking about it.
But at least for now, just so I understand, the gate's open.
The gate is open
Right.
for the
Let's
winter,
try to get
yes.
through Now
Yeah,
anyways, but.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not so much the gate being open or closed, it's just, we should all know what our policy is for that area. You know?
Or
And we-
what
and
our
we apparently
intention was
don't.
for it, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And we talked about this several times last year, and we still don't know what the policy
Well, I know
is.
the neighbors were more happy with what we've done.
Right,
But-
right. But then it was a neighbor that complained they couldn't get down there now.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Probably to pull the trailer out.
I think the administrative citations did help with the pontoon issues.
Okay. Okay. But now we just gotta firm it up so it doesn't happen again, because we don't want to keep going back to this stuff every year. We want to get it done and get it. This is what we're doing, you know. Stick with it. Anyway, so that was the one thing. If I could read my own writing, it would help. Is Rum River Associates coming through for new fees then next meeting? Is that what you were?
Yes, they will be at the next meeting to continue some of that discussion from the December 8th meeting.
Okay.
So it's related to the fee schedule in general, which I've requested some additional information from them to show how the current fees are versus what they're proposing. And then there's some stuff related to the septic systems.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to know a little bit, if we could, before that Friday, on what they're planning on changing, because I really want to look at that, and that usually takes some reading and stuff, because they change so many things and trying to figure out what's changing, what isn't.
And if you have questions, want
If I have
time to be able
questions,
to
I
call
want
them.
to, so I want to be able to get a hold of Lauren and talk to him before Monday and start trying to figure it out.
And I'd rather them not than drop more stuff off here that's 4 pages in length while we're trying to have.
Right, I don't want it up here. No, I want it before the weekend so we can look at it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll reach out to them tomorrow and tell them to send it to me. They should have already have it done because they brought this in December, so they should be able to get it to us this week.
And you know, if they can't get the packets done a couple days early or anything, just at least just get that part of it to us so we can.
Yep, no, I'll send that out separately.
Yeah.
I won't wait for the council
Okay.
packet for that.
That way we can look through it, and if we have questions, we can follow up on it before that
Yep,
meeting.
no problem.
Okay, that's all I have.
Paul, anything?
No.
John, anything?
Not today, thank you.
I only have a couple things. One is our next meeting. We have the essay, Mayor Essay Day winner that is going to come and I guess help as much as he's interested in helping with. So I had staff. We actually received a few of them, 4 of them.
Oh, cool.
4 or 5.
Yeah,
I forget what
so, yeah.
exactly it was, but all good. And so staff helped out and came up with one. So he'll get a ride here in the fire truck and probably lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and read the essay, and I'll give him a gift card. And again, I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but I always like to be very clear. It's not the city paying for it, so when people are worried about that. But I just think it's a fun thing. And then, let's see. Might be all that I have for that. Do we actually? I do have a question. If you don't know, Lauren, that's fine. Do we have an ordinance that limits the amount of trailers somebody can have? Not an interim use permit, not anything like that. But I had a call from somebody who's kind of concerned that we were talking about limiting that, and I said I don't even know we were talking that we've had any discussion on that, or if there even is an ordinance. I know we had talked about looking at interim use permits, not denying them, not no longer doing them, just see do we want to allow less, allow more, what we're looking at, but there maybe just keep it as is. But
Yeah, I don't believe the city has an ordinance that restricts the number or types of trailers. However, there is one in the ponds. The ponds does specify the type and locations of where trailers can be stored. And the city, very commonly in an interim use permit, if someone is applying for an interim use permit and they have outside storage, the city has very often limited the number and location of those. But outside of that, I don't believe there's an ordinance that restricts the number and location of trailers in the city.
Yeah, and I said, I don't know if there was even an appetite for
And
that.
generally, recreational trailers, campers and stuff are exempt from that unless you're in the ponds, smaller
That
lots.
was brought up a little bit in the summer when we started the ordinance deals that we're gonna look at once a month. And, cause somebody talked to me about it too, and I mentioned it here, but it was a briefing, and I don't know, when we get, at what point we should bring that up and stuff. And one of the concerns was you got all these flatbed trucks and all these other trailers and, you know, yeah, it doesn't do any good if you're trying to clean it up, but then they got 20 trailers sitting out there and stuff.
I think there is also an exception in the code for a home occupation. So there is a threshold where if you have one truck, and like 2 trailers, you don't have to get an interim use permit if you meet all the other requirements. And I think
Right.
that part of the code does define like the number of business-related trailers, but it's limited. And I want to say it's like 1 or 2.
Right. So, if we look at that at the ordinance of the month, what section should that be under? On IUPs, or should we look at it when we talk about, you know, cleaning up these junkyard houses, or?
I think you probably look at it in both. There is a section that's, I just call it the general nuisance section in the code, which lists a lot of items. And I think that might be a
Maybe
place where
that'd be
you
the
can
best
address it.
place. Okay.
If you're looking to restrict it or limit it.
I'd like to, you know, like Weston just asked the question, we don't really seem to know what is allowed or how many you can have, so maybe we should look at that and have the discussion. Well, do we want to limit that or not?
I think for
where some
business,
people are
for
getting-
business related, if you can meet that very low threshold for, one truck and 1 or 2 trailers, that's defined. But it doesn't say like, can you have 3 travel trailers or 4 boat trailers? And you get a lot of that out here. And it does not say that. And there's also some language that generally says recreational equipment is okay. So you'd basically have to define what your standard is, if that's something.
Right, I think we should look at that at the point, maybe get that going before spring if we can.
I think when it comes to some of these ordinances of the month, I think we have, all 5 of us have good intentions, that we're just trying to educate ourselves, see if there should be any changes. Some changes, like the accessory building, we actually are allowing larger buildings now, maybe not across the board, and we're allowing the height is more and the lean-to. But I think sometimes people are getting the idea that when we want to talk about these, that we just want to limit them.
Right,
Because
right.
I had a call over the weekend from an individual who was worked up that they had been given some information. And who knows? They maybe weren't given it by anybody, but just confused that we were looking to eliminate interim use permits. And I said, that's not my intention. My intention is just, let's talk about it. Maybe like the pole barn one, we allow more than what the ordinance currently is, or maybe it's less, or maybe it's the same thing. I think it's just getting an idea of what the ordinances are, and should they stay the same, or what. But I think if there's anybody in the audience or watching at home, just because we want to talk about it doesn't mean we're looking to start eliminating everything. I think it's just a conversation, but
Well, I think so far since we started this, we've given a whole lot more than we've taken away. Matter of fact, I don't know of anything offhand that we cut back and taken away. Because like you said, the pole buildings,
right.
we allowed larger ones, you know, so I mean,
We didn't go
I
quite as
think
far
people
as-
misunderstand it. When government's talking about something, people get nervous and they jump to conclusions and stuff, you know.
I just know even with the pole barn example, because that's really about one of the only ones that we've had so far, is that it maybe didn't go as far as the planning commission's recommendation, but we voted to make some changes that affected literally everybody in the city in some
Right.
fashion or another. So it's not, talking about it doesn't mean that it's like, oh, it's out, we're not allowing
Right.
trailers anymore, and we're not allowing a farm anymore.
I hope that ain't the case. I got a bunch of them.
You know, so.
The IUP discussion that we had was more about not letting people get out of control with taking advantage of the city on our IUPs. That's what the discussion is about. And making sure that it's a fair across the board type of thing and not affecting other people. So that's what it was. It wasn't about limiting or saying no to IUPs. It was about getting our arms around that situation and making sure that it was a good thing for everyone and not just for the person that was getting the IUP.
Correct.
So, I guess the point I'm getting at, just because we're talking about it, doesn't mean it's like going away. It's just a conversation. But I think I already asked you, John. You didn't have anything, right?
He muted.
That's correct. That's correct. Nothing.
So the last thing we have here under Mayor Council requests is an item that I had brought up to Lauren. I think I've been trying to kind of work on this for the last year, but it's nothing against him. It's just a different way of doing things, and so when you try to change things, it sometimes takes a while to navigate that. But I would like to see if we could work together to come up with what some of the key things are that we'd like to try to accomplish in 2026 versus like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and we have a very small staff. We're not going to figure all this out tonight. This is just kind of just A, do people even believe in what I'm thinking of here? And B, then it would be, well, what items would be a necessity? Like the 2050 comp plan, I think that is like a necessity.
That's
you
a
know?
big rock.
Now, I would like to get the land sold in 22, but is that a necessity? Or is that just like a goal I'd like to just get done? So I've worked with Lauren a little bit. I'm sure everybody has some ideas. If not, you know, we could probably pick this up again at the next meeting. I just don't want to push it out too far. Next thing you know, it's July and we're still talking about it. But I did ask Lauren to come up with a list of some things too. And I don't know if you want to share that, Lauren, or just mention a few of them and you can pick it up another time. And then I have a few, and maybe you guys have some too. But.
Sure, yeah, I can do it. And no matter goals/projects, you know, these are just things that staff is currently working on, which I think the council knows about most of these. But, you know, first and foremost, it's the successful completion of the City Hall Fire Station project, which is currently under construction. You know, we want that to be on time and on budget. Rob and I are working very hard on that in the building committee too with council members West and Tradewell. There are some ancillary things related to that. That, you know, we'll have to figure out, and some of that we should figure out this year. You know, the goal is to be moved in, up and running in November of 2026. We had to make a call last year on whether the election would be held in there or not, but we made the call that election will be held in this building, unless the building is done like super early or something like that. Then in 27, we would just have to make one notification to residents about the polling place changes to the new City Hall. Related to that, we still have to figure out what we want to do with this site overall once the City Hall and Fire Station are vacated out of this building. Is there any part of this building that we want to keep? Internally, we've talked a little bit about maybe keeping a little bit of the fire station for cold storage and or even possibly for Alina and the sheriff's office or a small substation. Just because we did not get them dedicated space in the new building. If you remember right, it would have added an extra $1 million to the project if we did that. And then also related to that, demolition of the whole building or partial building. Those are things that we need to talk about this year. The Veterans Memorial Park, there is space dedicated for that in front of the new City Hall. If you remember, but while we were still trying to figure out where City Hall was going to be, we had looked at some spot over here by the skating rink. So should maybe just affirm for sure it's going to go in front of the new City Hall. And then is it important for that to be done or started when the building opens up, or is that something that can be continued to be worked on as funding comes in for that? Also, we've mentioned, Rob is doing a lot of work on this project and would like to find some way to make some sort of payment to him for his services because of the time and hours he is putting in on this project. And we're doing a great job. We're very lucky to have him, saving probably hundreds of thousands of dollars by having him help us with the project. Related to that, this is another big one that I think we need to figure out, just the future of the fire department. I think Chief Engler was here a year or so ago to broach the subject about a full-time fire chief. That's something we should look at. Fire chief has kind of said once the new building is done that he would like to go shortly thereafter. So we need to look at the fire department and what the priorities are there. A full-time chief, what does that look like? That obviously would have an impact on the budget. related to this, the Explorers and Heart Safe budgets, we just want to get those synced up this year so that everybody knows what those are and they're staying within budget. Comprehensive plan, we already talked about that a little bit. Hopefully soon we'll find out what the grant funding is that will be available to us. I think the way the proposal's laid out, a lot of that work will be done this year, which that will be a lot of extra public meetings, open houses this year for city and city staff. I mentioned the joint council planning commission meeting with the MAC council member Diego Morales. Just things to think about for the comp plan. What's important for the city for the next 10 years. Just internally in the office, we want to get fully staffed here. So we are in the process of hiring the full-time administrative assistant and then receptionist, and then Jackie will go to part-time, and then getting all staff cross-trained. It's an election year, early voting. So we'll be doing that with all new staff basically again this year. So that can be challenging, but we're going to make sure everybody's trained and ready to go. With that, a successful 2026 election. Selling the Viking lot that the city has for sale, and the ponds land. We do have a purchase agreement on the ponds land now, so I think they'll be coming forward with the development here in the next meeting or two. There's a little bit of interest in the Viking lot. I know the council's brought up evaluating service contracts. We can look at some of those this year. I'm going to update the benefits handbook policies for the city. The council has started the ordinance of the month. One thing that Weston and I have talked a little bit about in the past is, does the city want to does the city have legislative priorities or platform? Is that something you formally want to do? Weston Mayor does a good job of inviting all of the elected officials that represent the city to come here at least once a year to update the council on what they're doing. And that's one opportunity to engage them, but do you want to be more formal about that? So those are just, a handful of quick things that I put together that staff is working on or things that will be coming up in the next year.
And that's just what Lauren came up with. So I feel like as people, continue to add, I have most of those here on mine. About the only thing that I would probably add to that I don't know if Lauren mentioned was, and I know Paul will eat this up, but it's this whole CIP, all these accounts, and trying to navigate where we're at, because I feel like a lot of years like, well, I'll throw 100 in there, or 200, or 50, or we don't have any this year, and trying to, but all these things take so much time to do, but, do we really need to put 500,000 into the CIPs every year, or is 3 enough, or do you need $1 million, or what? And I know we do everything we can to try to push things along as far as we can, and I think that's good that we do that, but we got ourselves, I don't want to say we, the city got ourselves in a situation a few years back that it was like, oh geez, we need a lot of stuff, and we really haven't, again, the city as a whole hasn't done a lot of budgeting for us, so. But my thought is trying to get Lauren to prioritize what we think is a priority versus, it's a huge year between just the building and the 2050 comp plan alone is huge. But trying to be realistic and knowing what it is, so we're not just, anybody can do this, obviously, that, but then showing up at council meetings and, hey, let's do this and let's do that. And I'm just as guilty as anyone else, maybe worse, but that's kind of my thought. I don't know if anybody has anything to add or just maybe just want to kind of take it in today. Or,
It's a lot. What do you just
right.
without? So
And we don't need any answers today. I just don't know if anybody has any comments.
I think having a goals are you can't finish something if you don't plan for it, and at least stuff's planned. There's always going to be stuff that's going to come up from now until the end of the year that we didn't know about. And there's nothing we can do about that. But like you said, to be able to pivot on something, you kind of know what your top 5 are. These 5 things has to happen. The comp plan's got to happen. There's certain things that have to happen. You put that at the top, and then the stuff underneath, if something else comes in at a higher priority, then at least well, what are we going to bump? Because we can't do it all now. Let's bump it. So I think the goal is fantastic.
So to Paul's point, I would agree. With the list that Lauren just rattled off, we could have a work session and prioritize, some of the top 10 or something and go from there. I mean, I'd be willing to do a work session just to work on that. I think it's probably a good idea.
I would agree, John. That's actually what I thought is if we kind of got somewhat of a list together, then it's more worth having that work session of what are our priorities, because some of us might have different priorities too, But the other second part of that is in the last couple of years, I tried to get people, like Lauren mentioned, the people who represent our city, whether it's the school board or state leaders or county commissioners or whoever it happens to be. But I know there are other cities that sometimes will have their state leaders meet with the council. But yet, I don't want to just set up this meeting everybody shows up at. Nobody has anything to talk about. So maybe that's beneficial. Maybe it's not. Not really looking for an answer today, just something to kind of consider. Or do we just do it the way we did it last year and the year before of just trying to kind of get them to come in? Some of them have been better than others at responding. Our state leaders have done great. School board, they've done a good job. Our county commissioners and sheriff and attorney, not as much, we'll just say. But I'm willing to give them another, opportunity this year and see, if they take us up on it. But I just don't want people forgetting about it. We may only have 9,000 people, but we are a community here, and I want people to remember that we're here. But so
Well, I think when you invite people in too, especially if they accept, we should have enough time where we can let the public know. So
Right.
if the public wants to show up, they can show up more too.
Ask the questions.
They might be interested in hearing what our county commissioners have to say, or whatever.
And most of them, we were able to get on the agenda. We had one county commissioner just kind of show up, which is better than not showing up at all. But it's hard to plan and it's hard to get questions prepared,
Or let the public know.
or let the public know. So I'm here. We don't need to change anything. I'm just trying to figure out as we move into the next year if there's things that we want to do different or we just can't keep doing things the same. I'm fine with either, but
Well, I think there's probably always been some stuff in the background, like on Lauren's side, that he has this list of things, but for us to all to be on the same page so we understand. So when we go and ask them about something or, hey, let's look at this ordinance and it's going to take 4 months to do, it's kind of like, well, this is probably not the year to do it with all the big hitters things that we have. So I think it's good for everyone to be on the same page, and that's what it does. That's what goals do. So,
So my
All
thought
for it.
would be, is at our next meeting, maybe everybody can bring their ideas of what we're thinking, and then maybe the next meeting we could have kind of a work session or something.
beforehand.
Yeah, and maybe Lauren, you could send out that list that you just kind of rattled
Sure.
off.
Yeah, that's a great start
That way,
point.
people they don't need to, keep adding the same thing over and over, but.
Yep, I can do that.
And some of them might be big things, and some of them might be small things. I'm with Mike too. I'd really like to get this Lake George park or whatever this issue we've been having resolved too. So,
Yeah, that should definitely be on the list.
right.
Well, it's been going on for 2 years.
Having to worry about it,
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. So maybe again next week you can, or not next meeting, bring kind of your ideas if you want to contribute anything beyond what Lauren sends out, and then maybe the next meeting you can let me know. Is it beneficial to have a meeting with the state leaders, or is that just we all sit looking at each other for 30 minutes and just maybe do it the way we have been doing it? So let me know what you think.
I think maybe for the ordinance of the month to get back on track, people might want to bring in maybe some suggestions. Maybe we can plan that out for the year. Like this month, we're going to talk about this one, this,
Right.
and that way we know ahead of time.
And this is a bigger one, so we'll skip
Right.
the
Well,
month here.
If we had a work session, then we could prioritize which ones we wanted to hit first. by
Yep.
their
No, it's a great
ordinance.
idea.
Right, because and I know Lord mentioned that we have several times, but is looking at all these contracts. I know the sheriff's one, maybe there's not much we can do, but we certainly can look Chuck's over and some of the other ones and make sure it's still fitting the needs for our communities, so.
Right. Yep.
I'll fight for you, Chuck.
Now he's gonna increase his rates because you're gonna fight for him.
No, I didn't say that.
Lauren,
So-
where are we at on the ordinance of the month? Are we doing one this?
Yeah, so the
month
next
yet?
meeting, we are scheduled to take up interim use permits again, because that one got continued. I think think we've talked about, we want the full council present, but when we have those discussions, so, yep, IUP is
Okay,
continuation for the
and
next.
just basically from the beginning, the basics, just anything anybody wants to throw out there about their concerns or?
Well, I think, we did discuss it once, and it was left, bring your thoughts or your comments or concerns, and either get those to me or bring them to the meeting, so.
Okay.
Bring them to the next one. I can send out some background information again. I have some ideas too for you guys to consider if you're interested on that.
Okay.
And I don't think for those watching at home or in attendance, I don't think we're looking to make these drastic changes. I mean, we might not make any changes.
Right.
It's just that we don't even know, and we want to try to bring it to the surface and understand it better. And
Well, part of it, like I say, is when somebody calls me and says, "What's the ordinance? How many trailers you can have?"
I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
There's a great one to talk about.
So,
Not a clue.
all
Well,
good
there's
questions.
a couple yards where it looks like they're storing trailers. And
Well,
stuff.
and
I
then
think that's why
Could be.
we're getting a lot of trailer
What-
calls the last year.
what if you're a truck driver and you have storage 60 footers? I mean, what's the definition of a trailer? And
Right.
so I don't know what to tell somebody. So not a clue.
John, anything from you before we wrap up?
Nope, I'm good, man. Thank you.
You guys, anything?
I'm good.
Good.
Lauren, anything?
I think I covered everything for the next meeting. Ordinance of the month, interim use permits. Weston said, bring your 2026 goals. Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, and you read about the CIP. I'll dust off I have a spreadsheet. It's multi-layer pivots on it, and
My goal would be,
We'll go
which
to
I'm
town.
sure is everyone on the council's goal, is to have a very minimal tax increase, if any. But it's hard sometimes if it's like, how much do we need for some of these things? So,
well,
but it's the first meeting in January, so we got some time to figure it out.
yeah,
So.
yeah. But like you said before, I think a lot of times why things on a CIP get kicked down the road are because they weren't bought into by everyone at the time. Someone just said, "Well, we should do this," and the chief said, "We should." If we're going to do it, we should at least budget for it. We can always pull out and not do it, but it's really hard to make up that money 7 years down the road from now if you didn't plan for it in the right way. So.
CIP is on the right track. It's in much better shape than.
Oh, I
it
think
has,
yeah.
but
I love seeing the orange. Yes, I know what the orange means.
we still need to dig into it deeper
Yeah,
this year.
but we've done you're right. Staff has, we've done a wonderful job with it. So,
Before I wrap up, I'm actually excited about this year. I think we've really, the last few years, moved things kind of in the right direction here. I know we don't always agree with each other, but I don't think we should always agree with each other. But I think with some of the changes we made this last year and coming into this year, and I think we're all level-headed and we can actually have these conversations. It makes me happy that we can have these talks versus if you look at some of our state leader meetings. So I appreciate all of you guys, and John, and Angie's not here, but her too. But all right, our next regular scheduled meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 26th, 2026 at 6 p.m. And I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilmember West. Is there a second? Second by Mayor.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
I
Oh, it's John. We couldn't get a second for a minute there. That's like, what?
Opposed? I don't know if you voted, Mike.
yeah, he did.
Okay, all right.
We were in harmony.
4-0. That's the meeting, and thanks for coming, and good meeting you.